Welcome to Boostfad Academy Computer Tutorial Series. This is tutorial number 9. In this tutorial, I will be discussing about the control keys, that is Ctrl A down to Ctrl Z. So the control keys. Control key is used with alphabet A to Z for different functions. So we are going to start from the first one, which is Ctrl A. Ctrl A means select all or highlight all. So if we have a document, we have text, we want to select everything at the same time, we press down our control key without lifting our hand, then we press A. You can see it selects everything. That's what we call use Ctrl A for, to select all the text. It may not be text only alone, it can be image. We can have some other documents like this one. We can see we have series of images. If I select one of them, then I press Ctrl A, it will select everything on that screen will be selected. That's what we use Ctrl A for. Then the next one is Ctrl B. We use Ctrl B for bold. If we want to bold the text, we use Ctrl B. Let's go back. Like this, our the introduction to computer. We want to bold it. We are going to use Ctrl B. Don't forget, like I said, if you want to do anything on a computer system, how do you tell the computer that, okay, this is the text I want to bold? It is by highlighting, which means the first thing you do is to highlight the text. Then I take my cursor to the beginning. If you remember, I said you press down the shift key, then you use the arrow key to highlight. So I've highlighted the text. Now I want to bold. If I press Control, I press down the Control, then I press B. You can see it bold the text. So that is the use of the Control B. Then we have Ctrl C. Ctrl C is used for copy. If we want to copy a text, we use Ctrl C. So most times we use them together with Ctrl V. We call it copy and paste. Ctrl C is to copy, Ctrl V is to paste. So this heading, introduction to computer, I want to copy it from this place. I want to copy it from where it is and duplicate, have a duplicate under the number 2 that we have down here. You can see where mouse, the cursor is blinking. Then I will come there by selecting the text first. After selecting them, you press down the control button, then you press C. So as I press the C, it has copied. That it will not show any sign, but you go to where you want to paste it, then you press Ctrl V. You press down the control button, then you press V. You can see I have the duplicate of that the introduction to computer. That's what we call copy and paste. Then Ctrl D. We use Ctrl D for strike through, superscript, and subscript. There are some other options that we have under that. So let's take for instance Naira. If I want to type 200 Naira, 200. We know Naira is like N with double stroke between. Most cases we will see some people when they are writing something that has to do with money, they will just use N to indicate that is because they don't know how to put the strike through. That's one of the options we have under the Ctrl D. The first thing you do is to highlight the N. Let me bold it for us to see better. After highlighting the N, if you press Ctrl D, press down the control button and press D, it will bring some options. If you look at it, we have strike through, double strike through, superscript, subscript. If I use the strike through, it will be one line, but Naira sign is having 2 lines, so I will use double strike through instead. Then OK, you can see we have 2 lines across it. What is superscript? Superscript means power. So like this one, if I want to make it 20 naira raised to power 0, I will use the same thing, Ctrl D. Then instead I will choose superscript. Okay, you can see it takes that 0 like a degree up. So that is what you call superscript. If it is subscript, we press Ctrl D again. That is what you call base in mathematics. That is 20 base 0. Then I will select subscript. If I press OK, it will bring the 0 down. So that is those are the functions of the Ctrl D. So the next one we have Ctrl E. Ctrl E is used for centralize. If we want to centralize text, let's go back to our heading. Like this one now, this is the heading, Introduction to Computer. It's supposed to be at the center. If we want to take it to the center of the document, we use Ctrl E. Just take your cursor there, highlight, like I said, you highlight the text, then press Ctrl E. You can see as I press the Ctrl E, the heading jumped to the middle of the text. That's Ctrl E for you. Then we have Ctrl F. Ctrl F means find. If we want to find a text or we want to know the number of times the text appears, we can use the Ctrl F. If we press Ctrl F and we enter the name, it will highlight that name anywhere it appears. Let me press Ctrl F. For Microsoft Office 10 and above, it will appear like navigation at the left side of the window. For below version, it will bring a kind of drop down. It will bring where you will input what you want to find. Like this one now, you can see it already has Introduction to Computer because I've copied that before. So if I remove that, if I write computer, so it will highlight every computer, everywhere that computer appear on the screen. Computer. You can see as I type computer, it highlighted all the computers on the screen, so we can easily locate where those texts appear. That's the essence of Ctrl F. We can even replace it. Assuming as I have the computer, I want to change that word to another word, we can use find and replace. If we use find to find the name from all where it appears in the document, then we use replace to change the name to another name. So we have Ctrl G. Ctrl G is used to go to either line or paragraph. So for example, this is first line, Introduction to Computer. If I press Ctrl G, you can see it brings a box. It's asking me where am I going to. I can go to line. In the situation where I have document of like 100 pages and I want to jump to like page 58, I will just select page here and write the number of page 58. If I press go to, it will go to page 58. But this is just an illustration page. I only have one page here. Let me use line instead. We have Introduction to Computer. So let me select line and go to line 3. You can see it jumped to third line. Computer is an electronic machine is the second line, while process data gives out information is the third line. So it jumped to line 3. That's what we use the go to for. Then we have a Ctrl H. Ctrl plus H is used to replace. We call it replace. We want to replace a text. Like I said earlier, find and replace, most time we use them together. The word computer, if I want to change it to plural, computers, by adding S. And you know the word computer are used many times in this document. I can use find and replace by using Ctrl F. For find, you can see a type computer. I will come here to this small tick and select it. So you can see the drop down menu. Under the menu I have replace. If I select replace, so this is the dialog box is supposed to bring. Find what? I wrote computer. So replace it with what I want to use it to replace to computers, which is plural. I can replace the first one or replace all. If I press replace all, anywhere computer appear on the screen, it will replace everything with computers. You can see it even told me that what has been completed is search of the document and has made 4 replacement, which means the word computer appear 4 times in the document and it has replaced all the 4. That is what it means. So we use Ctrl H to replace. Ctrl I is used for italic. I've used that before. I want to italize introduction to computer. So okay, let me select this, the component of computer. I want to put it in italic. The first thing to do is to highlight. After I highlight, if I press down the control and I press I, you can see it takes it to italic form. If I want to remove it from italic, I'll press down control and press I again. It removes it from italic. So that's how we do that. So Ctrl I is used to take a text to italic form. We have Ctrl J is used for justification. What do we mean by justification? By the time we get to Microsoft Word, we understand all these terms better. So let me copy these texts using Ctrl C and paste it using Ctrl V to have a lengthy text. So computer, so let me copy, let me paste. So it's for us to understand what justification is. So now let's look at the text. Let's look at the first side. You can see that is justified. All the text starts from the same place. But let's look at the right side. It is in zigzag form. So this document does not look neater. So what we used to do to control that is what we call justification. We highlight. If I highlight, you can see I've highlighted the first paragraph. I want it to be justified at the both sides to be straightened. So if I press down the control button and I press J, it will do that. That's what you can see. Everything look neater. Justification, that's what Ctrl J is meant for. So Ctrl J for justification, Ctrl K for hyperlink. For assuming we will get some text like this text now, this computer, maybe I get it from a website. And I want people to know that, okay, this particular computer, this is where I got it from. I can use the hyperlink by pressing Ctrl K. So you can see it has the word computer. So address, I can put the web address www.google.com. So if I press OK, you can see the text changed to blue. If I take my mouse pointer to it, mouse pointer means that pointer that is dancing as I'm moving my mouse. If I'm taking it to it, it will show the address. You can see, click to follow the link. Click to follow the link. So that's what hyperlink is. We use Ctrl K to do that. So we have Ctrl L for left justification or left alignment. I said for justification earlier that once we press Ctrl J, the two sides will be straightened. But if I press Ctrl L, let me highlight the text. If I press Ctrl L, it will justify to the left, while the right side will be on zigzag like it was before. You can see, which means by default, computer is always be on Ctrl L, that is left justification. That's the reason why the right side is always on zigzag. So Ctrl L for left justification, Ctrl M for indent. If you remember, we said we use tab for indentation. That is, before starting the paragraph, we're supposed to leave some spaces. If I use tab, it will give like 5 spaces. Instead of using tab, I can use Ctrl M. Ctrl M, you can see. Okay, for indentation, it indents all the paragraph, the whole paragraph. So you can see it gives it indents, that is giving spacing before the next paragraph. While the tab key is used for what? For the first line, that is to give space before starting the paragraph. That is what Ctrl M is meant for. Ctrl N, to open a new document. This is Microsoft Word. I'm working on this. I want to do another work. I want to open another page. I will use Ctrl. If I press down the Ctrl and I press N, you can see it opened a new document. So Ctrl N is used for open a new document. We have Ctrl O. The use of Ctrl O is to open a document. Now I am here and I have a work already saved on my computer system. It is that work that I want to open to do something inside. I will use Ctrl O. If I press Ctrl O, it will bring out a dialog box. You can see it's asking me. Then I can now locate, go to where the document is. Maybe if it is under the document, click on document. It brings everything that I have inside the document. If I select any of these documents, you can see I've selected it. You can see open down here. If I click on open, it will open the document. That is what Ctrl O is meant for. Ctrl O is used if you want to open a document. Ctrl P, to print. You want to print the document, we use Ctrl P for printing. So this document, now I'm done. Now I want to print. If I press Ctrl P, it will bring the option Ctrl P. You can see this is the option print. Here we have the name of the printer. You select the printer you want to use for printing. You can, like this one, I have series of computer installed on this. You select the printer. After you select the printer, you already have the page document. Then if you click on print, so it's going to print the document. We use Ctrl P for printing. Ctrl Q, we use it to remove paragraph format. We use it to do what? To remove paragraph format. So like this one now, like I said earlier, if we use Ctrl M, we say for indentation. So if I want to remove the format, I can use Ctrl Q. You can see it removed the format. The same thing happens, assuming each, like this one, I give it using tab to give 5 line spacing. Like this second paragraph, I use Ctrl M to indent it. If I highlight the 2 paragraphs and I press Ctrl Q, it will remove the format of the 2 at the same time. You can see it brings the 2 back to the left side. So that is the work of the Ctrl Q, to remove the paragraph format. We have Ctrl R to replace. I've explained that earlier. To Ctrl R to replace, to justify. Ctrl R is used to justify to the right. We have left justification, like I used earlier, which is Ctrl L. Now I want to justify everything to the right, especially for people who are typing Arabic. We know Arabic text starts from the right, not from the left. So in that case, if we want to justify that, we use right justification by pressing Ctrl R. You can see it takes everything to the right, which means everything starts from the right down to the left. That's the reason why the left side this time around is in zigzag form, because we use right justification. Ctrl S is used for savings. If we want to save a document, we use Ctrl S. I've used that earlier. As I press Ctrl S, it brings out a dialog box asking me to save. Ctrl S. If I press Ctrl X, it brings it. I will write the name, then I will click on save. It will save the document. So Ctrl S, then Ctrl T to create hanging indent. Ctrl T is to create hanging indent. We already have indentation. So Ctrl T, it means it will indent the whole paragraph except the first line. It will indent the whole paragraph except the first line, especially for the academic students who are writing project. So when it comes to references, this is how references are being done. So this is how reference page are being indented. Each of the references, you use that the Ctrl T to do that. Ctrl U is for underline. You want to underline a text. This, like our heading, you want to underline it, you select, then you press Ctrl U to underline. Ctrl U is used for underline. Ctrl V, paste. I've explained that. We use Ctrl C to copy. If you copy a text, when you get to where you want to paste it, you use Ctrl V to paste. Ctrl V, Ctrl W to close a program. Like the Microsoft Word, like this one I'm working on this top computer. If I press Ctrl W, you can see it closes the program immediately. Ctrl W is used to close a program. Ctrl X is used to cut. Just like we have copy and paste, we have cut and paste. This word computer, I want to remove it here, and I want to place it at after the full stop here. So I can come here and copy and cut by highlighting. You can see I've highlighted it. If I press Ctrl X, it will disappear. If I come to after the full stop, let me take that to the next paragraph. If I press Ctrl V, it will appear there. That's what we call cut and paste, just like the way we have copy and paste. Ctrl X is to remove a text or document from somewhere and to put it in another place. Ctrl Y, undo. Ctrl Z, redo. I'm taking the two together. You can see like this one now, I remove computer from where it was before, I bring it to this side. If I want to undo, I want to go back to the preview. That before I do that, I will use Ctrl Z. You can see it disappeared. If I press it again, you can see it's taking it step by step back to that place. If I want to redo, if you remember when I wanted to cut it, then I first cut. After cutting, then I go to the next line by taking the next word to the next paragraph. Ctrl Y, if I press Ctrl Y, you can see it disappeared. If you remember, then I come to this side, I take the word computer is an electronic to the next paragraph. If I press Ctrl Y again, you can see it moves a one step further. Then before I pasted the word computer to this place, if I press Ctrl Y again, it appeared there. You can see it redo. As we are taking the step by step, that's how Ctrl Y and Z will be taking us forward or backward. That is what Ctrl Y and Z are meant for. Then the last ones are, we have Ctrl 1, Ctrl 2, and Ctrl 5. Single line spacing, double line spacing, and 1.5 line spacing. We will underline the line spacing. Line spacing means the space between each of the line. We can see the space that we have between here. If I highlight all the text using Ctrl A, if I press Ctrl 1, it will take the spacing to single line spacing. You can see closer. If I press Ctrl 2, you can see it will be wider. You can see how wide the spacings are. If I press Ctrl 5, it will take it to 1.5. Ctrl 1, you can see very close. Ctrl 2, Ctrl 5, which is 1.5, a little bit gap. Ctrl 2, wider. That's the widest. Ctrl 1, Ctrl 2, Ctrl 3 are used for line spacing. So that is it about the control keys from Ctrl A to Ctrl Z and Ctrl 1, 2, 3. You have to master this control key for you to be a professional when it comes to computer. So thank you very much. In the next video, I will be discussing about computer mouse. Computer mouse. What are the buttons? What do we use each of the buttons of this mouse for? So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share it with others for them also to benefit. So Boostfad Academy computer tutorial series is meant to teach you how to work with Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint, but we just have to understand this basic before we can go properly into the full work. That's the reason why I'm taking out the time so to go through all these tutorials, all the topics I've been taking. So try and share it with others. The aim is to ensure that everyone are computer literate, because this generation we have today require the knowledge of computer as a basic skill for everyone. So once again, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for watching the video, and share and subscribe. Meet you in the next video.